So who comes out on top between the Ballistic Tough Jacket Maxx and the Otterbox Defender? Overall, I think it's the Tough Jacket Maxx. But from a pure protection standpoint, I think that would have to go to the Defender. At MobileReviewsEh, Monty and I base all our reviews on actual usage. Monty's like Sherlock with his innate ability to detect marketing fluff, and I'm like Dr. Watson, Sherlock's infallible sidekick. So let's get through the 5 biggest differences between these two products. From a scoring standpoint, the Defender gets a score of 3.78 out of 5. The Defender Pro, with the increased texture and the antibacterial covering, that gets a score closer to 4.1 A's out of 5. So I'm just going to compare the regular Defender because those 2 extra features on the Pro doesn't really play out in this comparison. For the Tough Jacket Maxx, this got a score of 3.9 A's out of 5. It almost hit 4, but it didn't. If you want to see the full reviews for both these products, I've done them. Just find them in the links or the cards. Difference number 1 has to deal with the belt holsters. These 2 cases are probably the only cases with belt holsters in my stash of iPhone 11 cases. Belt holsters were so popular like 7 years ago. Now they're like, it's just these 2 cases. The belt holster on the Otterbox Defender works way better than the one on the Ballistic, but the one on the Ballistic is a little more functional. First of all, the belt holster on the Otterbox Defender doesn't rattle when it's not clipped to your pants. To turn the Otterbox's belt holster into a kickstand, all you have to do is press the top of the stand into the clip. And then to release it, well, you just push that clip. On the Ballistic holster, you need to hold the stand open while you dilly-dally with a small piece of metal. There's a chance that you actually might lose that metal clip, which is what happened to this Ballistic, which is why I can't show you the rattling, because I don't have that clip that sits loosely in this belt holster. The Ballistic kickstand also allows you to use it in portrait and landscape mode, whereas the Defender only works in portrait mode. For this difference, well, again, as I said, it goes to the Otterbox Defender. Sure, you can't look at anything in portrait, but honestly, why would you do that with an iPhone? Difference number 2 deals with using your iPhone in the case. The Otterbox Defender handles like an iPhone that has a giant piece of rubber wrapped around it. The Ballistic Tough Jacket handles like a relatively slim case with giant corners. On a day-to-day basis, using your iPhone in the Tough Jacket, this case is going to be really good. The lower case edges means you won't be able to feel the edges when you're gesturing around on your iPhone. The buttons have a nice click to them, and the oversized corners helps with one-handed usage, as the corners result in a larger contact area in your palm. And on the opposite side of the case, there's like a little latch area for your pinkies, so when you're doing this, your pinkies has something to hold on to, which just keeps the iPhone in your hand. The Defender's rubber shell has a very grippy feel to it, and it feels like a giant piece of rubber. This extreme bulk from the Defender just makes your iPhone harder to use because it's just that much bigger. You got something that's relatively thin, you slap this on, it's just like big. So for difference number 2, that goes to the Tough Jacket Maxx. Difference number 3 deals with water and dust protection. This one's simple. There are port covers on the Otterbox Defender that covers the mute switch and the lightning port. Now this would have been a bigger difference if you were like doing this for the iPhone 6s, which weren't IP rated, but now that every single iPhone is waterproof to a certain extent, the only thing that you're protecting against is dust and debris so it doesn't scratch your iPhone. So this doesn't seem as big of a deal as it used to. Now, as a side note, none of these cases come with a screen protector, so you'll need to find one that fits. Now, if you're planning on being very, very rough with your device, get a plastic screen protector over a glass one. I've got a Rhino Shield 3D Impact on this iPhone 11. It's seen some usage. I'm reviewing, which is kind of what I do. I've recently done a review on Otterbox's own Amplify screen protector, and that eventually broke. So do check that video out. Difference number 4 deals with overall wear and tear. And in terms of longevity, I think the Tough Jacket is going to last longer because it's a single piece case. The Defender comes in 3 pieces, and I know that as I use a product, I tend to pick at the parts and pieces that move. The port covers innately over time might come off or might get torn off, depending on how rough you are with the device. The build quality of the Tough Jacket is top notch, as the multiple layers of polycarbonate and TPU are fused together incredibly well. Ballistic also includes a set of removable corners so that if that part of the case gets kind of ratty or beat up, you can just swap them out. Or you can swap them out just so that you can look different. These removable corners are made from a material called B-Shock X90. I'm only pointing that out because it has a really silly name and is supposedly very shock absorbent. Now, as a side note, one of the things I've noticed a lot in the last couple of years is companies with their marketing fluff naming their special TPE material something fancy, like Mouse has AeroShock, B-Shock X90. This Griffin Survivor Extreme has this thing called Forticore. It's getting hard to figure out what this stuff actually does for the device. And I guess that's the point of marketing fluff, isn't it? To befuddle the masses into believing that your product has something special, when in reality, the differences in shock absorbing properties, I don't think is going to be that much. It's not going to go from 14 feet to 20 feet because this guy has Forticore over B-Shock X90. I don't think that's how it works. All right, done with the side tangent. Wear and tear. Ballistic Tough Jacket. Now, this is the first time you're watching one of my videos. I do encourage you to click subscribe. This video is actually part of my isolation video series in 2020 because everyone was sitting around diddling their thumbs, doing absolutely nothing. I'm producing a review video every single day, so yeah, subscribe. Difference number 5 deals with drop protection. Now, this was a tough one to figure out, but at the end, I think the Defender's tougher based on my experience, overall experience with it. The general design of this product hasn't changed in years, which is kind of why I'm going with my gut feeling and saying that since I've tossed this thing 50 feet in the air with an actual iPhone in it years ago, the result from that drop test is going to be relevant today. But with that being said, I did drop it from 15 feet 2 years ago while I was filming the iPhone XS video, Otterbox Defender video, and the phone that was filming actually blacked out. It worked, but the screen went dead, there was no physical damage, and that was dropped in the Otterbox Defender. So it's hit and miss depending on how you drop it and how many times you've dropped your phone. Now, with that being said, the Tough Jacket Maxx is actually rated to 14 feet, which again is a crazy height to be dropping things from. But I personally would have more faith in the Defender being protective at a drop of 15 feet over the Tough Jacket Maxx. But all of that's just very, very subjective. I could do one massive drop once and the iPhone doesn't break, and it was like, is that the greatest drop protective case ever? No, because maybe it was a lucky drop, because I know if I was to drop it from 10 feet this way, something's gonna break, but if I drop it 10 feet this way, it's gonna be fine. So I guess at the end of the day, what's gonna be better, one massive drop or a ton of little drops and the iPhone being fine? I'm gonna go with the latter. So that's all I got for this video. Questions, comments, leave them down there. First time watching one of my videos, I do encourage you to click subscribe because you wanna watch Monty. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. I think the Tough Jacket... I hadn't even said one full sentence and the stupid teleprompter went through an entire paragraph. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at that stupid inanimate object. Trying so hard not to scream at the cameras. It just jumped an entire difference. The teleprompter just went from difference 2 to difference 4.